Jeff, what are you doing?
Practicing my baseball skill.
Well, I know someone who could help you with that.
Really?
Yeah, let's watch this next episode of Career La-Teh to find out. Hi, welcome to this new episode of Career La-Teh. I'm Bunyong.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're privileged to have with us two representatives from Rapsodo, Kelvin.
Hello.
And Daniel.
Hello.
Perhaps we could have Kelvin to share with us more about what Rapsodo does.
Sure. Rapsodo is a sports tracking company that builds devices for sports like baseball, golf, and cricket. Our product is used by coaches, parents, and athletes for improvement, for scouting, and for entertainment purposes.
This is a very interesting concept, and it's kind of like helping players improve their performance with your product. So Kelvin, will you share with us what do you do, your role in this company?
Sure. I'm an engineering manager for Rapsodo. So my team develops software for ball tracking devices, right? So what it means is all the calculation that's done inside the devices, controlling the sensors to pass the information to the calculation. That's what my team is working on.
How about you, Daniel? Just curious, what's your job role like and responsibility?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a student from DigiPen Singapore. I've been with the company since August.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're on a 6-month IWSP.
Yeah, 8 months.
8 months
8 months.
IWSP. Eight months so
Yes.
far. Okay. Yeah. So what do you do at the company?
So I work closely with a lot of the algorithms side of things, mostly on helping facility testing, and I actually work on some simulations, some parts of simulation.
So you contribute to the data, right?
Yes, I contribute to work on like simulating synthetic data.
Right.
So basically using the computer to generate data to
use
simulate.
computer to generate. I thought you have
Synthetic data is not
Yes.
fake data, in a sense.
It's not completely fake, but as much as possible we try to
Simulation.
replicate, yes,
It's a
simulate
simulation. It's a simulation.
live shot. So that makes it such that we don't have to have a player throw like thousands of shots just to be able to test something.
So I'm gonna ask the next question to Kelvin again. I'm just wondering, this could be a bit strategic, okay? When you're looking at students on work attachments, I'm just wondering what are the kind of qualities you're looking out for in these students on attachments.
Yeah, you don't have to look at him though. You just focus on us.
Sure. So obviously, what we look at first is the skill fit, right?
Right.
Because even though it's positioned as a learning opportunity, but we do want every role that comes in to fulfill certain business or product objectives, right? Then of course we try to pick up cues for like how well he works independently. Bias for action. I have an inclination towards young engineers who just go and get it done.
Walk the talk.
Yeah. Instead of spending too much time on deliberation, so I appreciate young engineers who can do that, and also resourcefulness. To me, it's important. Of course, you have your 100 list of what a good engineer should be like, but to me, if I need to pick 3, it would be bias for action, resourcefulness, and grit. Right, never gives up, keep trying different avenues until he solves the problem.
So I'm just wondering, was there an example of a time when you gave a student on work attachment a particular important task to fulfill?
So the responsibility or the importance of the job that's being assigned, I would say, grow progressively as the candidate has proved himself, right? So I would have to quote Dan as an example. I guess.
Okay, I'm all ears. Yes.
So the simulation interface work that he talked about, I don't think he started that from day one, right? He was working on some other tasks, but he has shown himself sufficiently and we are comfortable to let him run it on its own. Right?
So within the first few months, or the
first few months, I would say, like 2-3 months.
2-3 months.
About it.
Yeah.
So the trust has been built up across these 3 months.
Yes. So we have seen him work closely with him. We know what he's capable of. Of course, we understand that as an intern, we don't expect him to know end to end how to get everything done, right? So we internally do have a few checkpoints. Like, okay, if he's at this point and he's doing this, probably we need to intervene and say like, hey, if you need help, let us know, right? But the trust is there. With some kind of intervention, he's able to pull it off, basically.
Nice.
So he took it off and ran with it.
Yeah, I would say.
So maybe Daniel could share more of us your experience so far.
I say for me, a lot of it in the first few months was really trying to understand what is going on, because the code base is pretty big. I had to look through everything, and even until now, I can't comfortably say that I know everything. For the first few months, that was very hard. So I had a lot of help from my supervisor regarding like how, if I face a certain problem, I try to like explain to him or like keep him updated. And sometimes he'll point me to the correct direction of like, oh, maybe this is why it's happening. Over time, that has gotten significantly easier, and I think by the time I got to the simulation part, it became a lot more comfortable for me, because that is a lot more in line with what I learned in school.
Right.
And
so what you have learned in school, you managed to kind of apply this
yes.
in your work.
So I'm just wondering, Daniel, what's the most rewarding aspect of your work attachment so far?
Before the job attachment, I kind of had like this feeling that I might not be able to work outside of like the gaming field, because that's what is mostly taught in school for me.
You kind of didn't imagine that.
Yes, that was one of the concerns I had when I talked to like my peers from other schools that are similarly in tech.
Right.
So you're saying that you were in the gaming program, but now you're not technically in the gaming field.
Yeah, so I'm not technically in the gaming field, but I can still draw similarities. I can still draw on the similar skill sets, and
it's transferable, like in other words.
Yes, it is quite transferable.
Right.
And of course, it requires a lot of like extra research and stuff for anything that I'm not sure about. But I think the company has been quite good in the sense that they give me the freedom and the time to explore on my own.
Yeah, I'm going to turn time back to Kelvin, and we've heard of all these amazing stories from Daniel and his experience. I'm just wondering, what is the kind of guidance that is both positive and creating lasting impact that did you guys plan for that in the work attachment journey for any student?
I would say that forms a big part of like our job as a supervisor and manager, right? But we don't stick to a script on how it's done, right? A lot of it is highly dependent, highly specific to that particular engineer, right? So I would say if there's one way to describe what we have been doing, it's just constant monitoring, right? And I personally believe in not so much in giving direct instruction, but rather setting the boundaries so that the engineers can be given some room and space to explore the options themselves, the solutions themselves, and that I still believe it's a better way of coaching than actually giving very explicit instructions.
Were you afraid that they made mistakes?
I'll say mistakes is part of the game, right? Even senior engineers make mistakes as well, right? So I believe Dan being in my team has seen firsthand like how it's okay for even senior engineers to make mistakes as well, and that I hope give him confidence in making mistakes as well, but always learning from his mistakes.
So I'm going to turn the time back to Daniel, and because I heard a few keywords, I thought, wow, I would really love to hear from you as well. Love, pride, and joy in work. Perhaps you could describe a time when you either found the love or the pride in what you're doing, or the happiness, the sheer joy in whatever you're doing. Any moment.
One of the moments is when my simulation, we first hit a milestone whereby we have reached a point that we can use the simulated data to test like end to end. And Kelvin actually shared this with the rest of the teams. And the big boss actually like gave a thumbs up and said, "Great, we should look to do this for other teams as well." So I think that was the moment that like it felt like I had some form of recognition, and the work that I'm doing is actually like being used.
Excellent.
Yes.
The affirmation from the big boss.
I heard of a good news.
Oh, what?
I heard of a good news.
Okay.
I think let Daniel actually share. So what is the good news, huh?
I am converting to full time after my internship.
Congratulations. Yes, that's an
When you
advance.
smile all the time, you realize that.
Ah,
it's
right.
like-
Of course, that is.
I got it. Yeah.
Is that a good news? Okay.
Okay, so I think many times, right, what we heard from some guests when they come on the show that students are being offered full-time position after their IWSP, but for some students it may seem a bit far-fetched. They never imagined that could actually happen. So if you were to actually advise your juniors, it could be from your program, it could be from other program. What do you think is one of the things that you think that have gotten you this opportunity to convert to a full-time? What is one suggestion or one tip you want to give them?
I say to take the work seriously and really to kind of like interact with the team, because like of course if you can do good work, if you don't gel with the team, it doesn't work well. So really like try to talk to people as much as possible, especially like at least your supervisor and like your managers.
So Kelvin, how is it like Daniel in the company? Like, is it the bubbly type, or the kind of like shy type, or the guy who is like always doing the workaholic type?
I see. Can I say whatever I want?
Go ahead.
For an engineer of his experience, I don't expect him to foresee like how he can help other engineers as well, because that takes a level of understanding of the system and an entire company, right? But what Dan has shown during his work attachment is that the willingness to help is always there. It's just like the barrier of asking him to do something is quite low. I mean, not from me, of course, but from the rest of the team as well.
So I'm going to ask a very critical question, because that will come at performance appraisal for our friend there. What does Dan have to do to go to the next level?
Okay.
Remember this one? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
take notes.
Okay. So good question. So I would say, if you start off as a fresh engineer, right? So good technical skill will get you pretty far. Right? So you can just keep building on that. As you grow more experience, you will be better at what you're doing. Right? The next level for a lot of young staff is have that product thinking, right? Like, when I'm doing this, what's the implication on the actual system itself? What is the customer seeing, right? Like this simulation interface that Dan is building, right? How does it help the customers, right? It helps the customers because it makes development time much shorter, right? Have that kind of thinking, because that will refine what they build or what they want to build,
More strategic kind of thinking.
Yes. So that's what I'm looking out for the younger engineers.
Interesting that you mentioned about the other aspects that any new interns or work attachment students could put in to move on to the next stage to up the game. And I'm just wondering, how has this entire mentoring process been like for you, impacting your own professional development?
I want to bring up a story of the lunch that we had together.
Okay, all yours come.
Yes.
Sorry,
So,
yes.
So we are at a discussion of whether of like asking him if he's interested to come back as a full-time staff, right? So we talk about, hey Dan, we like your work, right? How about joining us full-time? The first thing that we got from him was very surprising. It's like, I thought I'm not good enough for you guys. Then that gave us a eureka moment. Okay, we are not communicating well enough, like or not giving him enough acknowledgement or validation of the work that he has done.
Right.
It's all very implicit, like, okay, now you've done this, I give you more important stuff. Also implicitly, we are giving him recognition through that, right? But it's not clear, it's not explicit enough. So that teach me, like moving forward, younger engineers or even senior engineers, we have to be very clear about what I want.
So actually getting more work and more project and
It's
more
actually
responsibility.
affirmation.
Yeah, it's a way of affirmation. Okay, so you all shouldn't complain now, those of you. You're getting there, you're getting there.
I won't say more work, but more important work.
More
right? The
important
importance
work.
of the work with respect to what the rest of the things that we are doing has grown, right? So to me, that's an affirmation. But
that's a very unusual meal. So it's like,
Was it hard to digest?
yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. And I guess just to add on to that, why I had that feeling at a point of time was because I was comparing a lot of my work to my supervisor's work, and I was looking at how I would stack up to someone in the workforce at that point of time. Which later on, as I talked to Kelvin, as I talked to another senior that is also working in Rapsodo, they told me that that is not a very fair comparison to make.
Indeed,
So,
yeah.
But I think it's in a way, if you have that kind of mindset to pit it against someone better and gauge, I think it's at least you aim for the star. The most you would fall on the moon, right? But now you have fall on the moon. But I thought there was a quite interesting conversation because it's like courtship, right? It's like, hey, be my girlfriend, eh? So steady.
Over lunch.
Over lunch. Okay, but I think it's something that I think a lot of IWSP students may need to know this, that heavier responsibility or more important jobs doesn't mean that the company is just weighing on you, but it's very much on looking at like what Kelvin just mentioned. It's really about understanding that this person is giving a lot of trust, and for the person to kind of shine, and to give that person to justify that this is the person that I want to keep. And fortunately for Daniel, and I think he met all the the checklist.
Yeah.
And the three very important things that Kelvin mentioned about bias to action,
resourcefulness, grit.
Yeah, great. Okay, so I think we have come to the end of the show, and I hope you have gained a lot of insights about IWSP and how the relationship has been bonded and fostered in the company, and how you can actually make the best out of your IWSP and get yourself an opportunity as a full-timer towards the end of your stint at the IWSP company.
Yeah, we'd like to thank Kelvin and Daniel for the
Thank
show
you.
today. And if you like what you're seeing so far, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share Career La-Teh with everyone you know.
And we're going to see you in our next episode of Career La-Teh. See ya. Bye.